The great rebrand. What is it? What is the great rebrand? Everybody's talking about the great rebrand. Oh my gosh, it's 2026. I have to rebrand. Calm down. Calm down. Everyone's talking about the great rebrand. Is it necessary? What is it? I'm going to say that it's feeling your best self, reaching your goals. I personally think that the great rebrand is being birthed out of a lack of confidence. You can shoot the messenger all you want, but it's a lack of confidence. Chances are you don't like who you're around, your environment in life right now, so you feel like you need to rebrand. And while that may be true, it's important to know why you're doing something and the healthiest way for you to get there, because I'm seeing a lot of information out there and I'm like, this is kind of harmful. But I'm going to probably just lightly touch on mind, body, soul. That's like the most, and like just, I would say soul's at the top, but mind, body, soul. And we're just going to kind of go through it. The great rebrand does not exist if you don't have confidence. Now, I've literally researched. I'm like, okay, what is confidence? Like, it's one of those things and definitions where it kind of looks different to everyone. So for most people, it's like dominant and like fearless and triumphant, and they're loud and they're boisterous. But that's not how it actually is for, I feel like the most people that I've met in my life that are confident are actually like really quiet and like really reserved. So I think it's something that varies from person to person. For me, I think that confidence is actually like your beliefs, like your belief system. It's like your self-trust. Do you trust yourself? Like, do you feel like you're capable of doing certain things when people are saying, oh, you can't do that? And you're being judged. Like, do you still have self-trust and believe in yourself when you're being judged, when you're overthinking, when you're unsure? Like, are you still sure of yourself? That to me is confidence. It's like, it's literally your belief system. So we're going to go through it. Mind, body, soul. Soul's on the top, of course. So we'll start with that first. So I did an assignment a couple months ago, and I wanted to actually take some of the notes that I had from my research and just kind of go into like what kills confidence. So before we get into the how, we want to actually get into some of the things that you're doing today. So it's important to put a name and put a label on certain things that we do in our day-to-day lives, because these are the things that compound. And when they're done frequently, and if we're around people who also do these things, and then it just kind of becomes the norm. So there's no break in the cycle. So I'm going to tell you some of the things that I myself am guilty of doing. I'm not innocent, which is why I came up with this list, because I think it's important to just see what we're doing so that we can stop doing that and fix it. So I'm just going to list them. I'm not going to go into too much detail, because once you hear them, you're going to be like, okay, yeah, like that's not good for me. So let me stop. Self-comparison, especially when it's constant. So this is something where if you're like chronically online and like a doom scroller and maybe right now you don't have any like limits on your apps, this would be a good time to put them, because it's harmful. It's actually everywhere. It's literally, especially on now that your algorithm is like reading you, it's reading you, it's getting to know you, and it's actually pumping certain information so that you take certain actions. So constant self-comparison, which I feel actually comes a lot from online, is a really big one right now. Perfectionism, I'm guilty of that for sure. I don't even do certain things until I'm like, oh, it's gotta be perfect. Doesn't serve you. And perfectionism is actually linked to a lot of like, I'm taking a class called health psychology right now. It's linked to a lot of really unhealthy like a lot of people who are perfectionists experience higher levels of stress. It's just bad. Once I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I gotta stop. Overthinking, obviously if there's too much going on in your brain, you're not going to be feeling your highest. Indecisiveness, that's another one. One of the key things about indecisiveness is that if you don't make the decisions, other people actually end up stepping in and making them for you. And then you're like, oh, I'm so unhappy. Yeah, it's because you didn't choose anything. Like, you just let people like direct you and boss you around and get in your head and do all this stuff. So indecisiveness is a big one as well. People pleasing is another one. Fear of rejection, and also the fear of like judgment, just being worried about what people are going to say to you, what they think. People don't think. So why would you listen to someone who doesn't really think? Waiting for external validation. Like, I'm not going to be my happiest unless I have this type of amount of money, this type of man, this home, this, that, this car. If you leave validation to be something that's left to the external, you're constantly going to be looking for it and you will never be satiated. So stop that. Living outside of your alignments or your values or your morals, especially when you've made certain promises to yourself, like little promises to yourself, and then you break them to people please, or because maybe you're in your flesh, you're weak, whatever the case may be. Yeah, that is going to definitely kill your confidence, because then you're going to be like, oh no, like I'm not strong enough to do this, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not that. And it really just doesn't serve you. Staying in environments that don't bring like the highest version of you out of yourself. So if it's like an environment where you know you're intelligent and then the environment is undermining you, like that's going to bring confidence issues, of course, because your physical is telling you one thing, like your physical surrounding is telling you one thing, but internally you feel one thing. So it's going to conflict to a point, and usually the environment wins. So your confidence will decrease. Based on a lot of information that I've personally experienced, along with the people in my chair, a lot of women struggle with physical appearance. I would say intellectual appearance too. Like when I told a lot of my clients that I was going back to school, and I was like, oh yeah, like I'm going back to school for, psychology. I'm gonna like be able to like help people like on a deeper level. Like they're like, oh my God, like they're so shocked that I'm like, I don't understand it. And they're like, oh, but like you like learning and this is that. And I'm like, yeah, but like, and then they always like, a lot of them tell me like, oh, I would go back to school for this, but I don't have the time, or I don't have the this, I don't have the that. And it's so amazing, like the things that we come up with to like not do the things that are blocking us from the goals that we have. It's so interesting. Like, I don't know, but yeah, like I would say a lot of people like don't really believe in like their mental abilities as well. Another one is social. I feel like a lot of people struggle with, I feel like a lot of people have become more introverted, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I think based out of like the pandemic, I think a lot of people became used to staying at home, so they're not as social anymore. And when they get into social settings, there's a lot of focus on like, oh my gosh, are they gonna like me? Are they gonna this? Are they gonna that? That's why when I say the great rebrand, like don't change something about yourself that you don't like, that someone said, oh, this is a bad trait. Like you can actually use some of your flaws. Like it's so weird. Like I can't explain it, but that's why it's important to show up as yourself, because when you show up as yourself, you're going to attract, like I know the ego is going to be like, oh, but myself is not good enough, but this is who I am right now. I don't like who I am right now. And that's okay. That's what I'm saying. But it's like, it doesn't change the fact that you're still worthy now. It doesn't change the fact that you're still lovable now. It doesn't change the fact that you deserve respect now, is what I'm saying. Like, but it's important to be yourself, because when you go out there and you try and maybe act masculine, or you try and maybe act feminine because you heard someone talking about it online, like you're going to attract these like people that are not for you. So it's important to like really show up authentically so that you can really just create your own tribe. Another one is financial. A lot of people are not confident in their financial stability. Look at the times we're in. It's not crazy and nobody's talking about it. So it's like, because no one's talking about it, everyone's pretending like, oh, I just came back from Bali and I took out a line of credit to do it. But like people are actually doing this stuff. Like when I worked at the bank, like you could see everything. Like I can't say too much, but that's what people are doing. And there's people who are like busting it wide open for a trip somewhere. So you can't say like you can't that's why self-comparison is like literally the thief, because you want to say I want that, but you don't know what it took for someone to get there. So stop watching people and stop being so watchy, and it doesn't serve you. But like career and financial stability, that's something that a lot of people are struggling right now. Another is actually life purpose. So like life path, life direction, life purpose, that's another really big one, because a lot of people I think when you have God, you have a little bit more of direction, because it's like you adopt the Holy Spirit, right? Like you allow it into your life, and it's gonna guide you, and you're gonna be like, I have a feeling, I have like a thought, like I have a like I have conviction not to go somewhere, not to do something, and then you obey, you become obedient to it, and then it works out for you. So it's like when you don't have your life purpose or know it, it's like that's why God is like really important in that aspect. But a lot of people are literally lost. Like that's why as Christians, like we got to go out and find these people. But yeah, those are the most common things that I can think of, like just based on like what's in my chair, what my guy friends talk to me about, what I've experienced myself, and like a lot of the women in my chair, I would say out of everything, those are the most common. All right, so now that we know that your confidence comes from your belief system, I wanted to talk a little bit about the soul aspect. So spiritually, when you know who you are, when you're walking in your truth, when you have God on your side and you know that you're God's child, you literally move differently. It's just more about you stepping into that knowing, and you stepping into the power that God allowed you to have. That brings a totally different mindset and like movement to your life. Like things start to flow in a certain direction when you trust God and you believe in God, and you're aligned with God's goals and plan for you. You kind of learn to release certain things. And for me, that's something that I worked on. And now, like, when something bad happens, I'm like, okay, you know what? It all is happening for my greater good. And I know that God doesn't want me to have that, because there's something destructive waiting for me on the other end of it. And I know that he will work it out or give it to me in another way. 9 times out of 10, it's better. Like sometimes it's almost like when you're cooking food and then someone comes in and they're like, oh, you should add this to it. And then you add it and you're like, actually, this tastes like trash. It's almost like if you had just kept your hand out of it, or they had just kept their hand out of it, like everything would have been good and you would have been on your way to a good meal. Like I can't even explain it, but that's how my brain thinks about it. Like I'm like, sometimes when I have my hand in it, like you just end up not, like God has his plan, he's constantly working, and then you want to go be like, I don't know. It's like you don't know best. Like up until this point, especially if you don't believe in God and you're watching this, like up until this point, like have you made the best decisions? Like can you confidently say like I've made the best decisions and everything's working out for me? Probably not, because you're watching this video and I love you, but it's like, you know? Okay, so that's all I'm gonna say for soul right now, because I feel like that is the most powerful. Like, and honestly, if you don't believe in God, like I really do hope that you have that encounter. Like it is literally life changing. It is life changing. So we've got soul down, mind, body, soul. Mind comes next. Everyone's always like, change your thinking, rebrand this, reframe your thinking. And it is true. So I want you to think, now that we know that confidence is a belief system, I want you to think, where did my belief system come from? Right? So for example, my last video, I talked a little bit about colorism. There was a lot of rejection wounds. There was a lot of isolation wounds, even like, okay, I don't fit in over here. Like this side's telling me I'm too much of an Oreo, and then this side's telling me I'm not attractive because I'm on this side of like skin complexion and this and featureism and texturism, and for type 4 hair looks like this, but type 3 hair looks like this. Like there was a lot of, I feel like that was like, where did I get that from? Right? A lot of it was from my surroundings. Another part of it was a lot of it was actually from media as well. Now, whether it came from media, whether it came from my household, whether it came from friends, whether it came from school systems, whether it came from wherever it came from, I had the choice to say, oh my God, I am those things. Or I could say, despite them having their belief system, what is mine? Do I succumb to their level of thinking, which is also unhealthy? Or do I reframe my thinking? And once I reframed my thinking, I attract people who absolutely adore beautiful dark skin. I attract people who have my type of mindset. I attract people who are also empathetic. Like, because I changed my mindset, I started to, like, even my own belief system, like, why do I believe these things about myself? Like, God made me and God is perfect. So he didn't make a mistake when he made me. I am here for a purpose. I am here for a reason. And that's where like the reframe came from. So it's like, that's why I put soul and spirit first, because if you don't have that connection to God, it's going to be very difficult to navigate earth. Like, you're on a spinning rock. Like, if you even just think of that in itself, like, it's going to be hard to navigate. So it really boils down to reframing your thinking and like, what is my belief system? Why do I think these things? The belief system usually is acquired. It's something that you kind of take on based on your surroundings, and we're literally sponges at certain ages. And as our brains are still developing, like our brains are developing until we're 25, like think of 25 years of belief systems being built, right? And you don't even know that it's going on. So it really just boils down to reframing, like, okay, why do I feel this way? Why do I think this way? And is it true? Like, that's the thing, is 9 times out of 10, it's not true. Just because someone said it, just because someone thinks it literally is not true. So when they say like changing your mindset, some of the things that you can do like mirror affirmations. You can write down, like one thing I always do is I thank God for my life. I always like journal and I'm like, God, I thank you for this. God, I thank you for this. God, I thank you for this. And that's actually a form of worship, like thanking God, like, you gave me another chance. You know, I get to share this with other people. I get to share my experiences. I get to share my testimony, even like all of these things that affect us. It's like, you do have to reframe your mind. So I would say gratitude, self-affirmations, just affirming yourself, like whatever you're insecure about, say, I'm beautiful because of this. I am beautiful because of this. I am an amazing person to be around. My heart is big. I am forgiving. Like, it honestly, like manifestation and affirmations is literally gaslighting yourself until you believe it. That's the thing, is like, when you say stuff out loud, your brain doesn't actually know the difference. So why not trick it to like like basically just hypnotize yourself? I don't know. Another thing to do with the mind, I would say, is drugs. So if you are okay, one thing I've noticed, especially with myself, even having been like, I wasn't a smoker, but I did make like edibles very frequently. And I felt like I was filling a void. Like, now that I'm out of it and I haven't had any weed related products in like almost 3 years, now I know that I was trying to fill a void. Because I'm like feeling whole now, I don't actually need it. Like alcohol, even like meat, like I've fasted from a lot of things. So it's like meat, alcohol, weed as well. It's like those things mess with your mind. Even alcohol messes with your mind. Even caffeine messes with your mind. Even sugar messes with your mind. So certain addictions to certain things, even food, fast food. Some of us are addicted to fast food. Like, if you can't go X amount of days without meat, or X amount of days without fast food, or X amount of days without shopping. That's another thing that I'm still like very indulgent in, is like shopping, right? It's the feeling. Basically, if you can't go one day without a certain thing, whether it be food, whether it be fast food, whether it be meat, whether it be sugar, whether it be weed, alcohol, whatever it is, that is an addiction. So I would say challenge yourself, get clean. Sobriety is the way. Please, I'm telling you, talk to anyone who's sober and they will tell you like sobriety is the way. Like, not touching. I haven't touched anything in so long, and honestly, it's so freeing. And it's so like, there's people out here raw dogging life, like, and we're having a good, solid, like stable time. I feel like if you're not mentally well and then you add drugs into the mix, like, it's just, it's a recipe for disaster. The last one is body. Now, a lot of the things that go on in the physical body are a result of stuff that are like emotional and mental. So I'm going to talk about both. Now, for physical, it's difficult for me to talk about because while I am at the weight that I am at now, and I've been very happy with my weight I fluctuate maybe like 5-10 pounds higher and lower on average, like based on, I guess, maybe where I am in my cycle. I personally don't have an issue with weight, but I did grow up very thick. I was a very thick girly. I was also the only black girl, only black child in my entire grade growing up. So I looked and I developed differently than everyone else. This was like the 2000s, 90s, like it wasn't the media standard. I actually took like beauty standard out of like my vocabulary. It's something that I'm practicing because beauty is in the eye of the beholder and beauty is internal. On the outside, you could literally just be pretty and like be evil on the inside. So it's like you're just pretty, but to be truly beautiful is to be beautiful on the inside. So I don't actually say beauty standard. I actually say the media standard. That was the media standard. So I wasn't the media standard at the time, but I do remember how I was treated. I do remember how I was treated being like a thicker girly, having developed differently. Like I was considered fat. And like I look back at some of my childhood pictures and I'm like, I had a little weight on me. I was a little bit chunky, but I remember how I was treated. So now that I'm older and I've slimmed out and I'm actually very, very content with how I look. It's not the same for everybody. You don't even, it's an uncomfortable conversation and you might be thinking that I'm not qualified to talk about it, but I do have women in my chair who are on the thicker side, even some who are on the thinner side, and they're like, oh, like, I wish I had a butt like yours. I wish I had tits. And I'm like, girl, I don't have nothing. It's nothing more than a Victoria's Secret double push-up bra, girl. I'm the type of, if I'm going to make alterations, I like alterations that I could take off at night. Like, this video's done, I'm gonna take my ponytail off. But it's like I do have those girls in my chair who are not happy with their bodies. So it's a difficult topic because I'm vegan. Like that is literally, people think I go to the gym. When I tell you I go to the gym maximum 2 times per week, and that's if. And sometimes I don't even work out. I just go in the steam room and the hot sauna because it's freezing outside. But my advice would be get into a calorie deficit. That is the one thing where I see, like when I see people eating less, like whether you have to trick your brain, eat different things, grab a smaller plate if you're trying to lose. If you're trying to gain, go get like, I think it's creatine. I don't know, I've never taken creatine, but I think it's like the muscle mass builders, all that stuff. Or go to a personal trainer, tell them your body goals, and have them develop like some sort of, you need both because you need meal plan. Like I look like this and I very rarely go to the gym. I go to the gym more for mental health. I don't actually have any body goals when I'm there, and I'm not working towards anything outside of like releasing endorphins and just getting rid of like that internal stress. So I would say go to an expert. I'm a person who loves going to an expert. Like go to an expert. Even with my skin, years ago I went to an expert. She developed like a whole plan for me. I went for a facial peel. That was what I went for, and she gave me like a whole skincare routine. She's like, what are you using? Like, okay, I'm going to recommend some stuff for you. And I've literally, to be honest, not seen her since then because my skin really did change. And even when I like break out, I know how to fix it myself because she gave me the formula. So I would say go to, even if it's like a guy who's like trying to like get something out of you, get something out of him back, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's bad advice, but just go see a personal trainer and go get that information. And that's how I became like, okay, if I'm going to go to the gym, I don't want to change my body, but I want to work out. Like I actually asked someone who was really into fitness, like, how do I maintain my body, but still like work out enough where I still feel good? Like I still get the benefits. And they gave me a whole workout plan, and I've stuck to that for probably about a decade now. Probably about a decade. So I kind of maintain at the gym, but the real work is in the kitchen for me personally. If you need more recipes and stuff, if you want to try vegan food, search out some in your area. I upload a lot of vegan recipes. Well, I'm going to start uploading more, but I upload a lot of vegan recipes. So if you want to grab some of those recipes, they'll be on my Instagram as well. I'll put everything in the bio. And the last but not least, I wanted to talk about the emotional body. So mind, body, soul, we cannot discount the emotional body. So have you been in relationships with people who hurt you deeply? When there's damage, like think of an explosion, when there's damage, there's debris. That debris can be thought of as trauma. You have to clear that out. You have to get into a space of forgiveness and loving people from afar and having those boundaries. That is true confidence, is to say, okay, you know what? I love this person. I love this environment, but it's not for me anymore. And I am allowed to change. So go in and clear that all out, whether it's therapy. I would say church too. Find a good church that you can like talk to people, where you can find fellowship. I think fellowship is so important because it's like-minded people, and it's really just the goal is healing, right? And a lot of people don't know how to heal. If I had never gone to therapy, I would never know how to do any of this. So, and even through my classes, I'm like, okay, but like you're not telling us how to like fix anything yet. maybe if I get my master's, they'll teach me. I don't know. But yeah, your emotional body. So loving people from afar, praying for people, cutting people off does not, forgiveness does not mean like I have to stay connected to you. You can absolutely cut people off. You can absolutely love them from afar. What does that look like? That looks like wishing the best for them, like wishing them well and praying for them. Ultimately, I feel like what more can you do to show somebody that you love them than pray for them? Like in your own quiet place, like really pray for like those people. I have literally learned how to pray for people who have hurt me deeply, that I probably should have like pimp slapped. And I'm just like, oh, I forgive them. I forgive them. I forgive them. I forgive them. And it was literally like me gaslighting myself. I'm like, okay. And asking God too. I'm like, God, I don't know how to forgive this person. They did me dirty. What do you mean I have to forgive them? I don't want to. Like, what do you mean? Whether it's family members, whether it's past lovers, whether it's friends. I've had, you didn't even have to tell me, I've had the friendship heartbreaks. I've had so many of them, and they're gonna happen. That's the thing. It's like confidence is knowing that like whatever's happening to you is working out for your greater good. So if you have always wanted to be a singer, or you've always wanted to be some sort of musician, or you've always wanted to be a painter, and you work a 9 to 5 and they fire you from that job, do you spiral and say, oh my God, I'm going to be nothing. I'm not even good enough to work at this place that I wake up and hate going to every day and I'm miserable at? And actually, hold on, wait a minute. Why am I there? Do you think like your whole world is crashing down? Or do you say, hey, you know what? I've got a little bit of savings. Let me try and get my art into a gallery. Let me try to take a art course now that I have all this free time. A lot of people think, if you read, I think it's Think and Grow Rich. If you read Think and Grow Rich, it talks about how successful people navigate like closed doors and failures and stuff. And basically, the most important part of the book that stuck with me was that when you have like a door closed on you, or basically a good opportunity is disguised as a bad opportunity. So you oftentimes don't get to the good opportunity and take advantage of it until something bad happens, or not necessarily bad happens, but something like there's some sort of rejection, like the rejection to the redirection. That's what it is. It's like, oh no, this happened, but wait a minute, I have space for this now. So it's kind of that like mindset. So there's your mind, body, soul. Remember that confidence is a belief system. It's how you think. It's how you talk to yourself. It's how you talk to others, because once we think it and we speak it about ourselves, we project it as well. So you almost have to think of your brain and your words as like, if I was my own best friend, would I talk to me like that? If my best friend was a baddie and she came to me and told me that she wasn't feeling at her best, would I tell her, yeah, you're not at your best, you look terrible? Or realistically, would you be like, oh my gosh, you're crazy? Like, why would you ever think that about yourself? Like, don't you know that you're beautiful? Don't you know that you're smart? Don't you know that you're worthy? Don't you know that you are capable? Don't you know that you are lovable? Like, why would you say this about yourself? It's absolutely not true. So you have to think about what people have said to you. None of it is true. You built that belief system on lies. Nobody can tell you what's true about you other than you. And if it is true and you want to change it, then by all means, go and change it. But when we're talking about the great rebrand, only change the parts of yourself that are harming you. If there are things that are working for you, like, why would I change being an empathetic person if I've learned how to use it as a superpower? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. And honestly, talk to the experts. If you need help with hair, I got you. Hit me up on Instagram. If you need help with skin, I know some good skin techs. If you need help with like the fillers, Botox, all that stuff, I'm scared of that stuff. I'm very scared of needles, but listen, I got a girl for everything. I do my own nails, but I have a nail girl. I don't go to her, but I have a nail girl. I have a girl for everything. If there is anything that you do want to change, just make sure you're taking your alterations safely, doing things safely. And honestly, like, pick better partners as well, like romantically. Pick better partners. That's another one. And be around people that you inspire to be like. If you wouldn't trade like some of the things that other people around you have, like if you guys wouldn't like trade lives for a day, you need a new circle. And I say that with love, because I've been there too. Like, I literally am saying all of this because I've been through it, so it's easy for me to talk about. So that is my, I guess, confidence 101 rebranding series. If there's anything that you need help with specifically, if there's anything you need advice with, if there's anyone, if you're in the GTA Toronto and you need to be connected to any of my girlies, I got you. But yeah, stay tuned. There's gonna be some more videos coming up. I don't have the pink chair today. I'm just vibing. It's winter. It's minus 18 degrees. So I'll try my best. Okay? Seasonal depression. I won't let it win because I did record this, but I would be a liar if I said that it wasn't here. I don't like the cold, so it's not very motivating to do these things, but it's more discipline. So yeah, if you need anything, let me know. But yeah, stay beautiful, stay confident, stay a sister, be a girl's girl, move how you would want people to move with you. It's that simple. Until next time, I'm sending you good vibes, sending you warm energy.